conduct a great cloud interview at www.cloudinterview.com. There are 7 steps that you want to follow in order to reach the pinnacle of success. The first step is to understand the details of the position. You want to know what determines success on the job. What are the behaviors or the actions that a person would take in order to be successful? In any job that you're interviewing, the mistake we often make is to assume that we're just looking for education or experience. The reality is you want to know what the person is like who will be successful. Step number 2 is to outline scenarios and questions. You want to create situational or behavioral questions for the position. In other words, look for ways to say, if an individual is going to be dealing with angry customers, you might say something to the effect of, when an angry customer comes into this organization, what do you do to diffuse the situation? So give them a real scenario that they would actually deal with and identify what behavior they would use to get out of that scenario. Next is determine the collaborators. Your collaborators are the people who will evaluate the candidates once the candidates have interviewed. These are the people that will be making the decision or having input into the decision as to who should get hired and who shouldn't. The collaborators will rate each of the responses of the candidates, and the system will then rank order the candidates from best to worst based on an average of the collaborator responses. After that, you determine the candidate criteria. These are the hard skills that are important to you. Hard skills are things like education, number of years of experience, certifications or accreditations that they must have in order to do your job effectively. Next, set up your interviews and implement. Use Cloud Interviews Wizard to set up the interviews and to conduct the interviews. You will go through the simple process of adding the questions that you want, adding the collaborators that will be involved in that particular interview, and adding the candidates and getting them started. Once everything is scheduled, the system takes care of the rest. Once you've gone through the interviews and you've done the evaluation, now it's time to see if there are any follow-up questions for your top 2 or 3 candidates. This would be your round 2 interviewing. Collect the questions, record those in the system, and implement the same way that you did the first time, just with new questions, following up on what you wanted to know. Finally, you make a conditional offer. You make a conditional offer of employment to the candidate. This is the person that you feel is the best for the job. The things that you put in a conditional offer are the 5 or 10 things that are non-negotiables for you. You must be on time. You must always be honest. You must, whatever it is. You put those things in there with the offer that says, we'd love for you to come to work for us. If you can commit to doing these things all of the time, then we'd like for you to sign this offer, bring it back to us within 48 hours. I normally don't allow people to sign the offer of employment right there on the spot. I want them to take at least 24 hours to think about it because I want to make sure that I have the best candidate for the job. All you have left now is to head to the cloud. Once you get to cloudinterview.com, you'll click on the login button and get started with your great cloud interview.